So, folks, here is where you take everyone. Everyone needs to go through here because this is what's going to show the dollar amount of their potential eligibility. And you'll find it in the same place, which is home buyers navigate here. And then you see your down payment assistance calculator. Make them run through it. Okay, so first question. All the questions are on the left and the fields are on the right where you answer them. So all you have to do is use the tab or scroll down with your mouse, either way. So this is just the way all computers operate, so everybody's very familiar with this. So first question is monthly homeowners association or condominium fee. If it's zero, put zero. So put zero there, Ken. Okay. The closing date is defaulted for 2 months, which is the amount of time in average that we will necessitate. Next is the buyer's income information. So here, excuse me, next is the number of persons who will live in the new home, the family size. So 4, 5, 6, whatever number it is, you just enter it there. And the next is the income. So to make sure that we're accurate with income, we only want to we want to put there what shows exactly what shows in line 7 of the tax returns. This way, there is no guessing, well, how do I read the taxes? Where do I find it? Do I put what I earn per hour, my pay stub? None of that stuff. What shows up on line 7, of course, that you want to know how you are filing. Are you filing single? Are you filing married, filing separately? Are you married, filing jointly? So however you're filing, enter it in one of those fields. Not both, only one. So now go to the buyer's monthly obligation. And then at the end of that, I'm sorry, it says enter buyer's individual yearly income here, excluding the co-buyer's income. So let's say that you file jointly and you file 85,000, but 40,000 of that was the spouse. Okay, so then you put yours, your yearly income excluding your spouse. That's 40,000, 45. Let's just say that the person's income was 45,000 and the co-buyer was 40,000. So that's what you put there. The next, you continue with the monthly obligations. So simple questions: automobile payments, uh, credit card minimum payments, not the balances, but the minimum payments. And sometimes it's not really what you make the payment because you may also you may on the habit always sending extra payments. No, we're speaking, put the minimum due. Usually the minimum due is about 2% of the balance. So if you owe 500, your minimum due is about $50. Okay, so next, personal loans and payments monthly. So zero, no other, and no other installment loans. In this case, now child support. So this is income. No one is obligated to disclose child support or alimony, but you are invited to put it if it's going to work out for you. So let's just say that child support, they're receiving $500. But when someone is relying on child support, they have to provide their divorce decree to determine how long it's going to last. Because usually the banks want it to last at least 3 years. Okay, and if the child is already becoming 18, then you may have a challenge unless they're going to college, and then it will continue. But it all depends on what the divorce decree says. And the same with alimony. And I believe that alimony is for life. That's very interesting. That is until the spouse remarries, not the one that took off, but the one that is receiving it. Okay, so co-buyers income, and then you will do the same as above, except for if you're filing jointly and the buyers already entered it, then you don't want to duplicate it because it was already filed jointly at 85,000. So there you will put zero. Okay. So, and then you will enter there where it says enter co-buyers in the individual yearly income here, excluding buyers. So we said that they were earning together 85,000, and his or her or the buyer's income was 45, and this will be 40. So a total of 85,000. So the question is, when I say his or her, it's not about being a man or a woman. It's about who is the buyer and who is the co-buyer. Yes, most of the time is the man that makes the most money, but not always. So who is the buyer? The buyer is the one that makes the most money. And that's a rule for the guidelines of all the banking and the rule for the guidelines of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, FHA, all the government agencies. So when you hear buyer, it's who makes the most money. Okay? And then we'll go the same with the obligations. You enter, say in this case, $300 a month of car payment and nothing else. Okay. So continue down, and student loans. So here, if they have zero student loans, you put zero. But if you put whatever amount and it exceeds certain parameters, the calculator will automatically detect it and restructure it and give you a result that other calculators will not give you. So here, remember this. Somebody says to you, no, there's no way. Look, I'm telling you, don't waste your breath. I got $100,000 in student loans. I got 25,000 in student loans. I already went through the whole thing. It doesn't work. Okay, we are aware of that. When certain parameters exceed inside of a calculator, it detects it and it rearranges them. And now it gives them a result that it will confuse anybody. It will confuse all the other lenders that might be looking at this and say, it doesn't make sense. I know this business. This debt ratio is out of whack, or however you call it. So we understand, okay, but we're not here to explain how it works, but it's taken into consideration and is rearranging it when it exceeds certain parameters, etc. Okay, so now again, there's a family that is convinced that it couldn't happen, running through the calculator, and whatever the result says, where it says the home buyer's potential eligibility is good, right? What's the debt to income ratio there? 53%, right? Okay, don't worry about anything else. If it says 53%, then you're good. Don't second guess it. Let us take care of it. Now, go up a little bit, just a tiny bit, scroll up, because we missed the purchase price. So in here, this is the question that you can control. The only one variable that, except for this is the only variable that is under your control. Because what I mean is, you earn what you earn, and it's not going to change in 10 minutes. If you earn 80,000 a year or 60,000, you're not going to change that in 24 hours. So you can't control that. So don't worry about it. Don't feel bad. Just enter whatever you got. Okay. You're not going to control how much your debt is in 24 hours or a month and a half. If you owe it, don't worry about it. You got a car payment that is got 3 years to go and credit cards and things. Don't worry about it. You got student loans. You cannot control that at the moment. Just enter whatever it is. What you can control is the purchase price. So that says 300,000 and it results in 53%. Show what the 53% is right there. Okay. So go back to the purchase price and put 350. That's what you can control, the purchase price. So put 350. And now the debt to income ratio, it says, at this time, it's not recommended that you proceed with your application. The home buyer's potential eligibility is poor. It's very, very simple here. You don't have to be an expert. They don't have to be an expert. If we say no, it's no. If we say yes, have a good time. So 350, too much. What can you control here? The purchase price. So put 325. It's still bad. So 320. Put 310. So you play with this and you discover the maximum potential eligibility. Boom, there you go. 54%. So you're good. You're good about 315,000. Put 315 just to double check. 315, calculating, boom, you're good. You are 55%. And of course, look, you know, it's very nice to live on the edge, you know, dangerously or however. But if the debt to income ratio is too close to the margin, there's a good chance that it's going to be a very, it's going to be a roller coaster, those 30 to 45 days. So don't push it too high, give it about 2% leeway so that it doesn't become a tremendous, tense 30 to 45 days. Okay, so this is the down payment assistance calculator. You know where it's at. The questions are simple. Read carefully the questions, answer the questions with the information that is provided in your tax returns. Don't second guess anything, because without tax returns, the banks will not even entertain it. Some conditions apply, some exceptions. You might be able to do a transaction with the bank without tax returns, but this only applies to W-2 individuals. So regardless of the cases, most people file tax returns. So just go straight to line 7. Okay? And so doing it like that is simple. There's no possibility of making a mistake. Line 7, done. You know how much you pay for your car payment? Put it there. So here, how could you make a mistake? All right. So any questions about this? Any comments? Anything else that you, Charles, or Ken, or Lawrence would like to say about this?
Let me find Lawrence here, and I've got a couple questions sitting there. And let me see if I can find Lawrence. There he is. And go ahead, Lawrence. Unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Carlos. And the point I want to make, guys, from what we spoke about a moment ago, using the calculator, if that was USDA, remember the FICOs would be 620, but the debt to income would be 43. So in that example, we saw how close it was to 56 and then we dropped it down to just under 56. Imagine if someone was applying with USDA, it would actually be 43. So that debt to income ratio of 56 gives so much more purchasing power compared to what traditionally, if you go on USDA or VA, which is 41. So look at how many folks would be eliminated if we put those same numbers in and they were doing VA and we had to have it below 41%. So you see the variance between 41 and 56, that's huge. So that just kind of gives an illustration.
Yeah.
Of, you know.
So Lawrence, let Ken enter another number there. Enter, say, 220, 250, and see what the debt to income does. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lawrence. I just want to make sure that.
You're the CEO. You can do whatever you want.
Put 250 there and see what happens to the debt to income. So we are now at 315. Let's put 250, and it's 47%, which is no way, not for VA or USDA. So put 180. All right, 200. It's down 39. So put 200,000. 39%, 42. So right there. So it's more like a 190 to 200,000. So there's a difference here of about $115,000, Lawrence. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
And we are going to mimic the same result as far as the down payment that they would have received from USDA or VA.
All right. And I got one more question also, Carlos. If on the debt to income, if the client has 2 months left on their car payment, let's say it's $500, but it's only 2 months left, can we eliminate that from the debt because it's only 2 months, or do we still have to put that $500 because it's not completely paid off?
The rule in the guidelines of the government agency is anything under 8 months can be omitted.
8 months, wow, okay.
8 months. So now, listen, many times, okay, we have suggested, look, you're not going to live in the car, sell it. I don't know, maybe get a ride from your wife or from your husband to work for a week and a half for 30 to 45 days. When you close, go back to the dealership and get another car. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, and good evening. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night, and God bless.